Hello and welcome to this behind the scenes where we're going to dive into how this photograph was made. So this picture was very heavily inspired by The Little Prince, which I think comes across pretty clearly, and more specifically this scene with the rose garden in the 2015 film. I really loved the way that they used paper to create these magical scenes in the movie. So at first I thought, okay, I'm going to make this full scale, full size, and so I got some wire hangers and used some aluminum tape, which I used in the last video to make a pair of wings, and I just had some left over. It's super sticky, so that's what I used. And so I made these big arches and tied them to some pipes that were hanging on the ceiling, just with a little bit of fishing line to kind of create this archway. From there, I draped it with a drop cloth, just a plastic one. I think it was like 0.3 mil or something like that, really thin. And so the plan from there was to then cover all of that in tissue paper and use nice thick cardboard to make the stems and thorns that come out, but it was just going to take so much tissue paper. So I thought, okay, well, why don't we take this structure and this idea and apply it on a miniature scale. So again, using the wire hangers, I bent them into shape and I held them down with just some bricks, and I had covered it with that drop cloth again, but didn't really love the way it was looking, so I just went straight over it with tissue paper, and I used some fine wire, again left over from the wings made in the last video, to help support it in place. And from there I cut thin pieces of tissue paper and covered the entire inside, and then over top of that I layered it with some more strips, but I kind of frayed the edges a bit to give it more of like a loose grass feel. Once I had the green in place, it was time to make a bunch of little paper roses, and these were kind of hit and miss, guess and check. I basically just cut strips and twisted them around until it made kind of this rose shape, putting a little dab of hot glue on the end and squeezing the bottom. Each one kind of had its own flavor and personality, but I think that's pretty accurate. They were surprisingly time-consuming. And then I used a more thin cardboard to make thorns and stems that would go over top and kind of follow that arch. And for my photo, I really wanted to focus on how much value was placed on the Little Prince's one single rose, his true love, and all that he did to protect it. So I had given myself a set budget for this photo, and a lot of it went to tissue paper. So when I wanted to make this cloche, this glass dome to encase my rose in, I ended up using a soda bottle and styrofoam that I had cut into shape and painted and tried to make it look like wood. The final portion was making a back panel so that you could really see the end of the tunnel covered in roses, and then adding some dirt into this little miniature rose garden to give it a little bit more atmosphere, ground it a bit, and so I didn't just have a bare table, because that's not very magical, is it? And then we pull those files into Photoshop, and, well, we'll see how it went down. have it, the final product. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, feel free to check out some of my other little corners of the interwebs, which are listed in this little end card here. And I will see you next time. Bye!